Morning guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Yorkshire Dales National Park. And today I'm in Malham, and we're planning to do about a 6-mile walk, taking in sort of 2 or 3 of the sort of main locations around Malham here. The first one being Foss Waterfall, which is about a mile through this woodland I'm about to enter. And I've shot there before quite a few times. It's a really pretty waterfall, is that. After that we're going to walk up to Gordale Scar, have a look at the epic valley there, and take a look at the waterfall just at the end of that as well. That looks pretty good normally. And after that we'll walk across the moors towards Malham Cove, take a look around there on the sort of cracked limestone, and then make our way down to the base and we'll have a look around there as well. So that should be really interesting. So yeah, today's all about just getting out and enjoying the walk really, and seeing what sort of photographs we can come up with. And yeah, just enjoying the day, enjoying the nice weather now. Had a bit of a cold snap recently, so it's started to warm up a little bit. So sort of get out and have a look and see what we can come up with. So if you're ever thinking of coming down to Malham, this is a really nice woodland, this, especially in like the spring when the wild garlic's out. The whole side of this sort of valley here is normally filled with wild garlic, so it looks pretty good. I've got some really nice shots from down here with the garlics in bloom, and with the river and everything, you can get some really nice compositions. So definitely one to come down to if you're interested in that sort of thing. And yeah, it's really good. Right guys, so as you can see I'm at the waterfall now, and it's looking really good as this. The water's nice and clear as always, and I've been up and had a look around some compositions, and I've got the sort of standard shots where you kind of just stood up on the rocks there looking at the waterfall with the plunge pool in the foreground. But with it being such a big plunge pool, it is quite boring sometimes just to have that expanse of water leading you into the image. So I wanted to try and include some of the rocks. I've been getting down low just along the edge to try and pick out some of the rocks. There's also some really nice rocks inside the sort of plunge pool under the water, so I've got the polarizer on just to try and take out all that sort of glare and everything. And I've just set up a pano at the moment, and I've been taking basically a pano of the whole sort of waterfall here all the way around, roughly about 6 shots. I've had the polarizer on fully polarized to get through that water, and I've also got the ND filter set to about 6. Shooting around 10-second exposures each time. F16 as well, ISO 100, just to make sure everything's really nice and sharp from front to back in one image if I can. So I'll stitch all them together, and if they're any good I'll put them on screen for you now. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Okay, so I've taken that pano now and I'm really happy with it. I really like the colours in the sort of water. Just the sort of blue tones against the sort of brown tones in the sort of shallows around by the rocks. I think that looks really good. Hopefully it's turned out okay. I've just moved a little bit further back now just to try and include a little bit more of the scene. And I wanted to try and include this tree here in the image. I really like the bark there, and use it as like a foreground element to sort of offset the waterfall. And I'll show you what I've got on the back of the camera. I'll show you now. So that's the sort of scene that I've got set up at the moment. Got the tree here on the sort of left hand third, and the waterfall just on the right hand third. I'm using these rocks here in the foreground just as like a leading line, just to sort of bring you into the image. And I've also included a little bit of the sky in this image just to sort of balance out the composition. I thought just with the sky excluded like that, it's kind of like quite heavy with the highlights in the foreground. So we're just bringing the highlights in the sort of top of the image and kind of balances it out quite nicely. Again, there I've got the polarizer on and the ND filter. So I'm fully polarized to try and get through the water and cut out the highlights in the sort of waterfall itself and try and bring out some of the rocks underneath. And then I've also got the ND filter set to about 4 there, so a little bit of ND just to sort of drag out that shutter speed. But I've been taking different shutter speeds as I've been going along, basically anywhere from like 1/4 of a second all the way up to sort of like 10 seconds. And you know, you can have a look at those individually and see which one you like best, or you can sort of blend them together in a time blend and pick out the bits that you like. So you might like the waterfall with a shorter shutter speed where you're going to be getting that detail, and obviously the smoothing out of the sort of plunge pool area might look better with, say, like a 10-second exposure. And pick which ones you want and blend it together. We just had a little scramble up the path there just from the waterfall. I didn't want to film it because there were a few people coming up and down. It's quite slippy, but just walking along this road now towards the entrance to sort of the fields that lead into Gordale Scar. It's a really magnificent kind of valley that's been carved out. I think since the last ice age, I think when the big rivers were here, we used to obviously you know, wear away all that limestone. But just spinning around there, you can see just how beautiful it is around here. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. So once we get into the valley a little bit further, I'll put you back on and show you a little bit of what's going on. Right, so we're just about to turn the corner into the sort of gorge itself, and I'll show you this. Hopefully you'll pick it up on camera just how epic it is. So there we go. This looks absolutely amazing. All the steep sides there. Sheer cliff. Nice big waterfall at the back there. Loads of rocks and stuff down in the bottom of the waterfall and the river coming down. So loads of little rapids to have a look at. So there's loads to shoot around here. So if you ever come here, loads of little compositions everywhere, really good for waterfall photography. And yeah, just such an epic place this. Hopefully you can pick that up on the camera there, but some people just in the background there as well, so it gives it a bit of scale. Hopefully you can pick those out and just see them. But this is a really good location, so I'm going to have a look around now, maybe stop for some lunch as well, and then have a look at some compositions. And on the way back through there, I might walk alongside the river there and see if I can get some compositions of that river. I've never really shot down there, but it does look pretty good with the level of water that's in there at the moment, so give that a go. So yeah, I'm going to have some lunch and then we'll set up some compositions. I'll come back to you when I'm set up. Okay, so we've just had my lunch down there. I've come on to the bottom of the waterfall now at the end of the gorge, and there's so many different little compositions here, little rapids, little boulders, interesting rocks, all sorts going on here. I'll just show you a little bit of that now. As you can see there, loads of little waterfalls, the main one at the back there, heading up into the valley. It's absolutely epic, is this. I've come a little bit closer now just to try and include this sort of like main, sort of like mini waterfall if you like, here in the foreground. I've got that set up really nice and large in the sort of foreground there, drawing into the image. And I've moved the shot up a little bit, the image, and I'm including a lot more of the actual canyon itself, because the light coming through there now is really, really nice. It's really providing a nice little bit of contrast between each side of the canyon, and provides that nice focal point at the end of the image to sort of lead you right through to there and sort of rest on at the end of the image. So I just thought I'd put you back on and show you this other composition I've got. I found a really nice boulder in the middle of this stream just to use as like a bit of a subject in the foreground here. So I'll show you this composition now I've got set up in the back of the camera. You can see there I've got the boulder there just in the foreground as the main element. Again, this small set of rapids here, and then the main waterfall just in the background there. So again, they're shooting like anywhere between half a second and up to like 8, 9, 10 seconds just to try and get different effects. So I'll put that on screen for you now, that one. I really like this one with the boulder in the foreground. I think it makes a really nice subject, and the colours of this image look really good as well. Really nice soft colours, got the greys and the browns, and it looks really nice against the waterfall. So yeah, I'll put that on for you now and let me know what you think. Alright, so I just thought I'd switch you back on there, guys, just to show you this final composition. I keep saying I'm going to move on to the next location, but something catches my eye and I have to photograph it. But this scene here looks really good. I've come closer to the main waterfall, and I've included a lot more of the opening of the canyon there. The light coming through now is really nice against the side of the canyon walls. It's really showing off all the detail in the rock there, so I'll just show you that now. As you can see, we've got the 3 waterfalls going up through the image, and then the opening at the top there is looking really good. So I'll show you the back of the camera now. So that's what I'm looking at there. About 8 seconds, but again trying different shutter speeds. F16, ISO 100, polarizer on to about 6 stops there, and then fully polarized on the polarizer. So yeah, I'll take that shot now. It's focusing a third of the way into the image as well. 2-second timer. And hopefully that's going to turn out pretty good. I really like the colours in this, the contrast, the sort of softness of the image, the light coming through, it just looks really good. And hopefully it turns out alright when I process it. If it does, I'll put it on screen for you now. Again, as always, let me know in the comments what you think. Feedback's always appreciated. And we're definitely going to head off now down to Malham Cove. So I'll see you down there. Well, that was something different. Really good. How cool would that be to do that? Okay, so we have arrived at the top of the cove just about. So you can kind of see down there all the cracked limestone. So we sort of head across all that, and then on the other side there's some stairs going down to the river below. So yeah, so that's a nice little walk on there, about a mile and a half. Not too bad. There's a bit of an uphill section at the start, but it's not too bad. So it's getting quite warm now though. That sun's coming out. Definitely a change since last week and the minus temperatures that we had here. But alright, so as you can see, I'm at the top of the cove now. I've got this lovely sort of cracked limestone here, loads of little compositions, little weeds and plants and ferns growing through. So I'm going to have a look around now and just basically handheld and have a look, see if I can come up with some shots. If I get any nice ones, I'll put them on screen for you in a minute. And while I'm doing that, you might as well watch this little bit of a time lapse I'm going to do of the sun setting behind. It should be pretty good. So enjoy that, and I'll get back to you when I've taken some shots. So the last few steps now, about 300 steps there. I felt every single one of them. It's really burning on the thighs, that. But anyway, it's at the bottom of the cove now. This is Malham Cove, and you can just see how awesome that looks. Normally there's like climbers here in the summer. There's also peregrine falcons and stuff like that if you're into bird photography. It's really good for that kind of thing around here. And this used to be, obviously back in the Ice Age, a waterfall when all the glaciers were retreating and melting away. There was enough water to create like a waterfall there. And now it just kind of like percolates through the limestone and comes out at the bottom there. It's like a natural spring that comes up and it kind of flows down the river. But in 2015, I think it was, when we had a really wet winter, there was so much water that it actually started being a waterfall again. And there was water coming over the edge of that. So I didn't get a chance to come and see that, but I bet it was quite a sight to see. So yeah, I'm not going to go down to the bottom down there. I mean, I've taken photos from around there before, so there's nothing really new to shoot around there, but it is worth a look if you've never been before. Now I'm just going to head back to the car and head back home because it's getting quite late now. So yeah, if you've stuck with the video for this long, then thanks for watching. And if you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. And please consider subscribing as well. It all helps the channel. So until the next one, bye for now.